accordingly against Odu 1935 to Waka 336. See how this thing works. This one, like we see, is the name of artist. In this case, plaintiff. In this case, defendant. Now, this one is the year of reports. How can be just like that? I'm talking about how to use this thing and go and locate the case in the library. That's what I want you to do. After this lecture, you will go and pick this case and locate it for me in library, and then you have located it. So this one now is the volume. That is what we call it, the volume number. The volume. So what this one means is that if you go to 1996, if you get to library, let me be being specific because of this. If you go to library, you go to a section that talks about dates. You are going to see index. In under index, you are going to see index. But pick it up and open to the 336 and you get your case. So it is so simple, it is so easy, it is so seamless. Now my assignment, very important. I won't give you this one because this is not a wide, this kind of report is going extinction. Before you say now that things they want to give you just waste the entire 1 week of life without seeing this. So let me go back to other one with this. I want you to go now and look for Fawemi and Abacha 1996 8 Nigeria Weekly Law Report Part 10. Go and look for it. Everybody should go and look for this case. It is a common saying that he who fails to plan is planning to fail. Now, as a law student and tomorrow potential lawyer, if you actually wish to become a lawyer, not just to pass the exam and successfully grab that title barrister, if you actually want to litigate, if you actually want to excel in the legal profession, you must master the ability of legal research. As a matter of fact, being a law student and passing exam is another thing. As a matter of fact, being a lawyer and passing exam as a law student is a different thing. They are not contaminant. So today we are going to basically decide on something that has to do with legal research and law library usage. This is a very fundamental topic for any person who is just coming into law, who is dealing on legal method, who is dealing on legal system, or basically the beginning phase of your journey into legal field. If you are a legal person who just wishes to gain the knowledge, it's still very helpful because there are times in law an individual is free to represent himself without a lawyer. This is a very fundamental topic. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are treating legal research and law library usage. Before we delve deeper, my name is Kingsley Ifeanyichukwu. I'm currently a 400 level law student, ready to grab that title, barrister and solicitor of Federal Republic of Nigeria. What I do on this channel is to enhance and to scale up the level of understanding of law students when it has to do with law. In case you are interested, because every single Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, we often post videos here, tutorial videos that can help and make your journey easier. If you are interested, the only thing you can do is to subscribe, which is free of charge. The essence is that when we put up a video, you get it as a notification. And if it concerns what you are doing, you can comfortably watch it. I will also encourage you to like the video while we proceed. Now, when we are talking about legal research, this part, we will treat this one as number 1. Later, we'll come back to this one as number 2. Now, when we are dealing on legal research, the question should be, what is research in the first place? Whenever research, in its simplest understanding, basically is the art of assembling relevant tools one could use in order to be able to do a particular thing. Now, relating it to law, we see that legal research basically refers to the act of assembling relevant materials, relevant sources of materials or products that can help one to be able to tackle legal questions or law-related issues. Because of the word legal is something that is an adjective that basically qualifies anything pertaining to law. By the implication of that, whenever we are talking about legal research, we are dealing with all the whole act of assembling relevant things that can enhance you, make do arguments in court, make do arguments in moot court for law students, make arguments in writing through drafting of memorandum. Every single thing you are doing as a lawyer has everything to do with what? Legal research. Can you tell me, is there any lawyer in this world that doesn't have library? Even if the lawyer doesn't have library on his or her roof, the lawyer must be going to what? Library center, National Industrial Court. For instance, during my last semester long vacation in 300 level, I was opportuned to go to National Industrial Court throughout that break. What was I doing there? To study cases. If you go there, there is no kind of cases you will not see. National Industrial Court anyway. They have so many cases that can interest you. And I use that break to study a lot. Many people think we are playing. We are not playing, because if I tell you what I got from that stay there, you won't imagine it. So what we are saying is every lawyer needs legal research to survive. Every lawyer needs the assistance of a good techniques of finding what you want. Because remember, Lord Dennis said that God Almighty should forbid that a lawyer should know all the whole law, but rather that a lawyer should know where to find the law. There is truth in that. Because come to think of it, how can you remember all the laws in the world? How can you remember all the laws? In fact, as you are reading this case, the other one you have read is going like a shadow from your brain. If your brain doesn't delete anything, if you just have everything fresh, you will run mad. That is the what of act of legal research is. You don't need to know every law. You don't need to know the entire section in penal code. You don't need to know entire section in criminal law. But you only need to know how to make use of legal research whenever you need them. For most of the people in year one, they think that to be a lawyer, you must definitely carry all the whole laws in your head. The truth is this: any lawyer going to court will only go to court when he have considered and made research on that particular issue the client came up with. If your client is complaining that somebody has been trespassing on his land, entering his land, what you do as a lawyer is to go back on your library or your chamber and make a proper finding as per the law governing trespass, as at the moment that action happened. Because you cannot be talking about trespass in 1980 as at today. Let alone, let's come to criminal law. You are in the southern part of the country and somebody is complaining of adultery. You will go and make verification as per whether adultery is a crime. If you make it, then you look for supportive cases to back it up. That is what legal research is all about. Once a matter comes up to you as a lawyer, your duty is to go behind the scene and to prepare and cook. Client ga-adị happy. So that is what legal research in its importance entails. For those who didn't get Igbo, everything I just said is transcribed to what I've been saying. Now let's talk about what does legal research entails. I have said it. Legal research entails what? Any act of you assembling relevant tools, because you are law student, any act of you assembling relevant tools that will aid you in your exam, that will aid you in your moot court debate, that will aid you in legal debate presentation, whatever you could think of, is the act of what we call legal research. Importance of legal research. Before we get in there, because let me tell you, see this thing, this thing is the main fulcrum. This side is why we are here. And that reminds me, this is the part 6 lecture video for second semester. So you see, we have gone far. But maybe if you are coming across for the first time, I just encourage you to watch to the end, go to the description board. You are going to see many cases, many videos we have done that can enhance you even understand this one better. So, importance of legal research cannot be overemphasized. That is one thing you should know. Importance of legal research cut across a lot of things that makes us lawyers. Are we together? One of the importance of legal research is that it provides us with relevant legal tools. There is one case known as the case of Lockheed Enterprise against Ambroster. In that case, the court, English court for that matter, made an opinion and said that it is the duty of a lawyer who is handling a case to make a proper finding as per the authority that surrounds that case, echoing the general principles of law that ignorance juris non excusat. It is not only in criminal law that you are all told that ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So in a situation whereby your client have a case and you are handling it and you fail to make a proper research as a lawyer, the court can even fire you for negligence. As a matter of fact, your client can sue you when it is obvious, the reps is ipsa loquitur, that you are the reason for the failure of that case. And apart from the legal suit that comes with it, what about your reputation? Do you know the more you win cases, the more your general, sagacity and upliftment as a lawyer continue to grow? So the more you win cases, the more you create a wider range of opportunity for yourself and for your chamber. If you cannot do that, your name begins to the window. Even as a judge, if your judgment is keep being overturned every time in the appellate court, you will suffer it because your reputation will be at stake. Is it not that joy that every time the court of appeal will quash its decision? If you are in court of appeal and every time you are among a panel delivering the lead judgment, the Supreme Court will trash it down on appeal. You buy a reputation of what? Weakler. That's why legal research is important, because to succeed as a lawyer, as a judge, it all lies on your ability to master legal research, and it has everything to do with proper assembling of relevant tools. So the importance of legal research in essence is cannot be emphasized. Legal research also helps us in logical application of law to a fact. Legal research assists us in a logical application of law to fact. When we say fact, logical, what do we actually mean? The truth is that whatever that happens in a case is what we regard as fact in law. Now, what determines the application of law lies on the facts. So your ability to understand what transpired between the party is the genesis of you winning your case. Are we together? By logical application of law to a fact of case, what we are trying to say is this: when a matter happens, whatever that transpire in those matter become the fact of the case. Then your ability as a lawyer to think about the relevant law that applies to the fact is what makes you a brilliant and a sharp lawyer. And it cannot be gotten in isolation apart from through this thing. So it's not about whether you are blessed or you are intelligent or you too do as a lawyer. It's just the ability to master legal learning and research. So that is it on that aspect. So through legal research, you know how to be logical in your reasoning. Because like I said, most people that invite me for a webinar, I often tell law students the biggest mistake you could ever do is to train your brain that it will only be through cramming that you'll be able to pass the exam. Because by so doing, you restrict your potential of mastering logic. You know, we all did logic and critical thinking in year one, mostly borrowed course, and we felt we have learned logic. But logic is not learned in a day. Logic is a critical and a process. The more you read cases, the more you see the opinion of learned justices of the 7-man panel, 5-man panel, 3-man panel, a single judge, lawyers, amicus curiae, and all those things combined together in a case. For instance, if you read one case of Adensan against the president, that was the full-fledged case of 7 justices, many justices of the Supreme Court, plus amicus curiae, because of the seriousness of that case. If you read that case, you will see how logical a case can be. By the time you are done, nobody could tell your brain, may learn logic. Your brain go format for good. So now we come to how to cite law reports. How to cite law reports. And before I proceed and give you example using this, I will come and even talk to you on what different types of law reports. There are many. We have Nigerian Weekly Law Report, which is the most popular one for somebody in Nigeria. Nigerian Weekly Law Report is the most popular. It stands for what? Nigerian Weekly Law Report, NWLR. Is the popular, founded by Ganfeni, I think in 1985, if my brain still recalls that vividly. Then we have Supreme Court Judgment of Nigeria, Supreme Court of Nigerian Judgment, SCNJ. We also have Supreme Court Judgment, SC. So these are the law reports we have in Nigeria. Then we have in Africa as a whole, West Africa Common Law Reports, West African Court of Appeal Reports, WACA. So WACA, you will mostly see WACA in cases like criminal law. When you come to 300 level, depending on your school, that's when you will be countering this law report very often, because criminal law cases as of then is still applicable. But mostly in civil proceeding, you also encounter WACA in equity, land law, and all those things as a law report. The implication is that this thing is an organization or a business venture that report law. So whenever a court, like we said, the idea of this cases is borrowed from what? Doctrine of judicial precedent. So as the judges are delivering judgment, there are real people, agents of this law report, that are present. Their duty is to harmonize the entire judgment of the Supreme Court. When they are fully, not only Supreme Court, even State High Court, when they are fully endorsed their judgment, they will put it out there, deliver it. Those people will carry that in and harmonize it and put the name of the justices, the parties, the history of the case, and it becomes law reports. That is how law reports are formed. Now, the question becomes how to cite or report a case. It's very important. How to cite and report a case. This is like a topic in legal system, legal method, and also legal research or legal writing, depending on your school. So when we are dealing now on how to cite a case, this is what I want you to know. The case, citing of a case goes this way. The name of the party. So this person is the plaintiff. Plaintiff. This person is the defendant. Let's be using acronym, please. This person is the what? The appellant. I say this person could be plaintiff. Our own family. He can be plaintiff. He can be appellant. This person can be defendant. He can be respondent. That is not what I'm teaching today. It's a question of another day. Then this one is the year the law report was what will I say, was reported. Please, it is not the year the matter started from. Do you understand? My year one student. It is not the year the matter started from. This matter could have started from somewhere, for because it's 1996. I would say it started a kinda 1979 or thereabout. Because cases to get to Supreme Court, it must have lasted for about 10 to 15 years. Now we have this one. This one now, this one is the year the courts deliver their judgments. And most often it could be the year the law report reported it. For instance, if a matter was delivered as at today, 16th April 2026. Now, if the court want to rule on this matter, they may have delivered it today, or let's use something like the judgment was delivered on 31st December 2026, and the law report can report it 1st January. Of course, it can't be that day. 1st January, 2nd January, 5th January, and it may become 2027. But the judgment within the law report, they are going to tell you that the judgment was delivered in 1996 or 2027 or 2026 but reported in 2027. That is it. Now, what do we call what is the need for this one? Remember, still going to show you an example. This one mainly apply, especially in Nigeria weekly law report. So it is expected that after it, are you even ready to know how to cite a case? I'm not talking about citing it in your exam, how can fact by me, just like that. I'm talking about how to use this thing and go and locate a case in the library. That is what I want you to do. After this lecture, you will go and pick this case and locate it for me in library and tell me you have located it. So this one now is the volume. That is what we'll call it. The volume number. The volume number. So what this one means is that if you go to 1996, if you get to library, let me be being specific because of you. If you go to library, you go to a section that talks about years. You are going to see index. Under index, you are going to see various years. So if you come under 1996 shelf in your library, if you go to my school, they used to write the days on the library sections. If you come to a category of 1996, you then look at what? Volume. Volume simply means the book. It's just like what we have volume 8, volume 2. You cannot possibly see it this way. When we make use of CD, music, or even film, you can see volume 8, part 8. But I'm not talking about part, I'm talking about volume 8. Volume 8 of CD, music, that kind of thing. So volume is the book itself. We have volume 1. Remember, we are looking at 1996, and you cannot tell me that it is only one law report that you can get in 1996. So because there are series of law reports under this category, under this paper, Nigerian Weekly Law Report, within the year 1996, how you will be able to find it, what you are looking for, is to go by volume, which is this thing. There may be 1, there may be 2, there may be 3, there may be 4, there may be 13, 15, 16, 17, whatever. But what we call it is what? Volume. Meaning that if you go to 1996, look at what? Volume 8. That is where you are going to be looking at this case. You are looking for Fawumi and Abacha. But remember, there could be many Fawumi and Abacha. Because this man too, he dey trouble. There are many cases his name is there. So, if now you are looking abeg, Fawumi dey trouble really, please. No mean to insult him, but him too know the rest. So, if Fawumi and Abacha na friends, they have many cases. So, because they no dey gree for anybody. If Fawumi has a lot of cases with Abacha. So the only way to locate Fawumi and Abacha we are looking for is to go to 1996. When you get to 1996, you start looking at volume. Volume means which textbook am I looking at? Assuming it's textbook. We know that many textbooks are written in 1996. It can be, things fall apart. It can be what? It can be that. It can be Kingsley Omeyi biography. But what we are looking at, what is the name of what we are looking at? The name can be this volume. Volume 8 will tell you that whatever you are looking for should be in volume 8 for you to find this case. Then we come back to what? Nigerian Weekly Law Report. Meaning that the volume you are looking for is not just any volume. It is a volume in Nigerian Weekly Law Report. The one reported. Remember, we have many law reports. These are just the one I listed. They are up to 1,000 in Nigeria and Africa. So this one now, you must be searching for the volume within the column of Nigerian Weekly Law Report. So you cannot go now and start looking at Abacha and Fawumi in our library in 8 volume without checking whether it is Nigerian Weekly Law Report. So when you get to the section of Nigerian Weekly Law Report 1996, you're looking to look for volume 8. Then we come at parts. Parts, this is another important thing. This is another important thing. Parts. I want to teach you part for you to understand in a simplest way. Shebi, in our exam, we are giving past question. Then in our past question, you see part A, you see part B. So see it this way. The entire past question is volume. Our exam last semester was written on what? I think my land law was written on what? 19th March 2026. Now, that was the year. We wrote our exam in 2026. So if I want to trace my past question in library, I'm giving an instance. You can be like, okay, Kingsley wrote his land law exam. I want to locate Kingsley past question. I will go to the year what? 2026. When I get to 2026, I will then be like, okay, which course self am I looking at? That course I'm looking at is the case of what? Abacha and Fawemi. So when I've gotten to library in 1996, I would then ask myself, which school are we even dealing with? Possibly, my school is Enugu State University. So Enugu State University will be as stake as Abacha and Fawemi. Remember, we then come to you. Which year did Kingsley write it? Kingsley wrote it in 17th March 2026. That becomes it here. Now we come and be like, yes, Kingsley have written exam in this week. Under which course? That course becomes this volume. The volume now should be what? Kingsley's question paper, which is land law. Then we still proceed. Then we then come to part. Part then means that yes, we may have located the past question. This Nigerian Weekly Law Report, you may see it as like, okay, which lecturer is handling the course? So that you even know that whether you actually got Kingsley's own right, because you have to know the lecturer that handled Kingsley. That could be this one. Then part becomes, okay, I've gotten the past question. Is it part A or part B? What am I looking for? So part is like, volume is the textbook itself. That is how I want you to see it. Volume is one of the textbook or one of the law reports that was reported throughout 1996. Many law reports. But if you want to find the exact thing you are looking for, you go to part. Part then becomes part A, part B, part C, part D, and whatever. But in law report, it is not like, especially in Nigerian law report, it is not written in this part A, part B. But what it means that if you have come to volume 8, there could be possibly another volume 8 in Nigerian Weekly Law Reports. But the part will not be just a different thing. It will be a different thing. The thing is that I don't have law report here. I could have shown you what I'm saying. But maybe when I'm doing this, I may lay an overlay if possible. I don't know. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you go to Nigerian Weekly Law Report and you saw it, then you must check. It's not all 8 Nigerian Weekly Law Reports must have this case. Because some many, remember a case, today now Supreme Court may be delivering about 100 and something judgment, or about 50, let me not overhype them. They may be delivering about 5 justice judgments today. So to deliver 5 judgments, they cannot contain in one weekly law report. But there are some that are like this monthly report. That is where this thing will be helpful. Because if you go to monthly report, it may be volume 8. But that volume 8, you must go to part 10 for you to find this case. So it's about, if you look at the edge of Nigerian Weekly Law Report by Ganifa, you will be seeing this thing. You will see something like, you will not see the name of party, but you see something like 1996 8 Nigerian W World Record Part 10. That is where you will know you have found this case. Because once we are able to see 1996 8 Nigerian Weekly Law Report Part 10, then you have found this case. This one must not be in the edge of the Law Weekly Report. What you just need to do, let me just say, this one refers to page number. Meaning that if you get 1996 8 NWLR Part 10, the only thing you do is open it and go to page 90. Please, is somebody like, am I making sense? If you truly understand how this thing works, can you like the video and tell me you understood it very well? If you don't actually understand what I mean, just tell me in the comment section and I'll explain. But you know, this kind of thing requires illustration. I just want you to rewind this video now and try to understand what I'm saying. If you go to Nigerian Weekly Law Report, you will only see from here in the edge of the book. You may not see this one. You will not see this one. No, you may. You will not. You shall not see this one. So if you see this thing, you'll be like, okay, 8. Yes, you look at your book again, Nigerian Weekly Law Report. Then part 10. Yes, that means that this case, Fawemi and Abacha, must be there. If it's not there, either somebody has tear it away and took it home. So that is the only thing that will make it not to be here. But once you have located this one, you just open it and go to page 90, and automatically you will see Fawemi and Abacha. This is how you make use of law reports. This is very helpful because you'll be dealing your assignment. I can remember the first time I make use of law reports was when my own professor Obu in Constitutional Law and Legal System gave us assignment to go and look for recent cases on the authority talking about validity test on customary law. That was the first time. But trust me, when I get there, I was confused. I couldn't make use of this because I don't understand it until I was taught by a senior colleague. So this thing is what I'm sharing with you now, and I encourage you to like the video. Then we can continue because I have another example. Remember, this only applies to Nigerian Legal Report. What about other citation? So have you liked the video so we can continue? So we now turn our board to consider another one. I believe that all of us are good with this one now. Please like the video when I'm turning the board and comment thank you. Do not take anything from me. I just overstage the one. Just say thank you. Now, let us come to this one. This one is example 2. You see, there is difference here. This one doesn't have part and all those blah 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 blah. This one is so simple. It is only mostly notes. It is only mostly Nigerian Legal Report that often comes with parts. All other ones don't really have parts. So, but Nigerian Legal Report is dominating. Then apart from it, I have also my website, which is Law Made Simple Law Report. If you want to, that even remind me, if you're interested, I learned that most of the students are struggling with what? How to source material. You know, this what I do here is video. Video is only helping you to understand better with clarity. But what will aid you, practically speaking, also in writing is what? Written materials. So if you go to my Law Made Simple, if you go to Google now and type Law Made Simple Legal, or even Law Made Simple, you are going to see our marvelous case summaries online. And those case summaries almost have, as at the moment, about 100 and something cases have been summarized there. So the only thing you can just do there is make use of the search box on the website and type the case. If I have made a work on it, it's going to show up. That is it. That is very, very helpful too. You can leverage on. Now we'll come to quarterly here. This thing is a case, but we want to teach how this law record will work. Now we have quarterly against Odu, 1935 to Waka 336. See how this thing works. This one, like we said, is the name of parties. In this case, plaintiff. In this case, defendant. Now, this one is the year of reports. Most importantly, year of reports. You know, my handwriting is perfect in the world. Then this one is the volume, like we all know, volume. Meaning that in that year of 1935, you must go to volume 2. Now, this one now is the name of the report institution we are dealing with, West African Court of Appeal. They are their report. That is the courts. This one, like the court they are reporting, is this one. Name of the court. I mean, Supreme Court. When you say Supreme Court law report, you are meaning Supreme Court judgment. But this one, basically, you must only find a case that deals on West African Court of Appeal, not any other court. That is this one. Then we have the year. This one is just the page. This one is purely the page. We have the page. This one is purely the page. Meaning that if you want to find Conde and Odu, you just have to go to 1935 to Waka. If you go to Waka section in your library, you go and look for volume 2. If you got volume 2, you pick it up and open page 336 and you get your case. So it is so simple, it is so easy, it is so seamless. Now my assignment. Very important. I won't give you this one because this is not a wide, this kind of report is going in extinction. Before you say now that Kingsley want to kill you, you just waste your entire 1 week in library without seeing this one. So let me go back to the other one we discussed with. I want you to go now and look for Fawemi and Abacha, 1996, 8 Nigerian Legal Report, part 10, page 90. Go and look for it. Everybody should go and look for this case. Everybody should go and look for this case. If you have found it, just tell me on the comment section on this video that you have found this. Guy doesn't say go online. I mean, go to library and make use of the example I gave you and locate it. That will show me that you have learned what I have taught you today. Now, to my all future lawyers, especially in my own GEM school, as at the time you are watching this video, it depends on the time you are watching this video, but if you are watching it within the realm of May this year, 2026, up to June, I'm telling you that I'm coming out for the faculty president of my own very school. And the idea is born on my genuine vision to make the faculty a great place, use the connection I have garnered to make this faculty workable for all of us. So I encourage you to basically support me in any way you can. If you really admire all the work I've been putting and the effort I'm putting, this is the opportunity to support me in my own school. Remember, the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. You have listened to me all this while. You have been following my work. You have following my website. You have seen a lot of things I have established. What makes you think that faculty president is bigger than what I can do? This is a true test of your own ability to see what the future will look like. Just vote for me, campaign for me, support me, and together we shall build a nation all of us will be grateful of. Thank you so much. While you make use of the assignment I told you. Now, below are the videos. Click it and watch it.